Close reading is a reading comprehension strategy that involves carefully and thoroughly analyzing a text, paying attention to details, and making connections between the text and the reader's own knowledge and experiences. While close reading is often associated with high school and college literature courses, it is a valuable skill that can and should be taught to students at all grade levels, including first grade. In today's episode, I'm going to share with you some of my favorite strategies and tips for using close reading in first grade. Stay tuned. What's kicking, educational rock stars? Welcome back to another episode of Teaching Made Easy, where I strive to bring you practical tips, inspiring stories, simple classroom systems that actually work, and expert insights to help you become a more effective and confident K-5 teacher. I'm your host, Farah, the Center Fairy, and in each episode, we'll explore a different aspect of teaching, from lesson planning and classroom management to student engagement and professional development. If this is your first time joining me here on the channel, be sure you hit that like and that subscribe button and click that bell so that you get notified when I go live or upload a new video here on the channel. Now, education rock stars, as you can tell, I am not coming to you from my office. That is because I am traveling for over the next couple of weeks, but I wasn't going to let that stop me from bringing you some really great information and some strategies to use in your classroom. This week, we're chatting all about close reading. So grab that cup of coffee or your favorite beverage or your walking shoes or turn up the volume on your drive to work and get ready to be inspired and empowered. Let's dive in. There are numerous benefits to teaching close reading to first graders. Benefit number 1, improved comprehension. By focusing on a specific text and breaking it down into smaller parts, students are better able to understand and retain the information presented. Close reading helps students to make connections and draw inferences, leading to a deeper understanding of the text. Benefit number 2, enhanced vocabulary. Close reading allows students to encounter new words and learn their meanings in context. This is going to help your students build a strong foundation for vocabulary development, which is critical for reading comprehension. Benefit number 3, developing those critical thinking skills. Close reading requires students to analyze and evaluate the text, encourage them to ask questions, make predictions, and form opinions. This helps to develop critical thinking skills, and it'll be useful in all subject areas. Benefit number 4, encouraging a love of reading. Close reading allows students to engage with texts on deeper levels and helps them foster a love of reading. By analyzing and discussing text, students become more invested in what they're reading, and they're more likely to enjoy the experience. Benefit number 5 is promoting academic success. Close reading is a key component of standards across the country, and it's emphasized in the reading standards for grades K through 12. By teaching close reading skills in first grade, your students are going to be better prepared to meet these standards and succeed academically in the future. So how can teachers effectively incorporate close reading into their first grade classroom? Well, I'm going to share with you some of my favorite strategies. First, start with shorter text before going to longer text. First graders may not have the attention span or stamina to close read a long novel, so it's important to start with shorter texts such as picture books or short chapters from a longer work. Now, if you're going to be using our close reading passages for first grade, they are longer text, and we want your students to work up to being able to do the entire text, but we don't expect first graders to be able to do the entire text the first time they see it. This is why it's important to take chunks of the text, and we actually recommend that you use these over an entire week and you do parts of the text each day. You can find a link for these first grade close reading comprehension passages in the description down below. There are 10 units, and they cover a wide variety of high interest topics that your first graders are going to love. Now, tip number 2 is to use graphic organizers. Graphic organizers can help students to visually organize and make connections between different parts of the text. Some options for first graders might include a KWL chart or a Venn diagram or even a T-chart. We've included several different graphic organizers in our reading comprehension pack for first grade. Now, strategy number 3 is to ask questions. Asking students questions about the text helps engage their critical thinking skills and encourages them to make connections and draw inferences. It's important to start with lower level questions that can be easily answered based on the text and gradually move to more complex questions that require deeper analysis. We've also included reading comprehension questions for you to use with the passages inside our reading comprehension bundles. Strategy number 4 is to encourage discussion. Allowing students to discuss the text with their peers helps to solidify their understanding and allows them to see different perspectives on the materials. Now, one of my favorite ways to do this in my first grade classroom was when we were reading a passage as a whole group, we would look at little parts of the passage, maybe one paragraph at a time. And then after reading the paragraph as a group, I would have my students turn and talk to their neighbor about different aspects of that text. Maybe it was the vocabulary, talking about any words they didn't understand. Maybe they wanted to ask them what something meant, or maybe they wanted to share a story if it helped them relate to the text. The sky's the limit. But the purpose here is that you want them to start discussing, because guess what? They're going to learn easily from their peers and a lot more easily than they will from you. So anytime you can get the peers talking to each other, that is a win-win situation. Now, strategy number 5 is to use multimedia resources. Incorporating multimedia resources such as videos, podcasts, or online articles can help bring the text to life and make it more engaging for your students. Close reading is a valuable skill that has numerous benefits for first graders. By teaching your students how to analyze and evaluate texts, you can improve their comprehension, build their vocabulary, develop critical thinking skills, foster a love of reading, and promote academic success. Close reading in your first grade curriculum is a necessity, and it's important to prepare your students for a successful future. Now, if you're looking for more tips, strategies, and simple systems to take back into your classroom to make your teacher life easier, check out the other videos on your screen. Thanks for watching, and keep being an educational rock star.